Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Full Count Podcast. It's Sway. Kurt's here. We have a pretty interesting show today where we're going to go over our predictions for the 2024 seasons, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the in between. We'll talk a bunch of shit to each other and try to prove our point why I may be wrong and why Kurt is or why I may be right, why Kurt is wrong, and vice versa. So we're going to just try to have fun with it. I think we're pretty excited about the season here, and there's a lot of good things that I see coming, some surprises, some Cinderella teams, but we'll get into all that kind of stuff, and we'll turn it to Kurt here. Kurt, what do you got to say?
Well, thanks for having me, Sway. I'm super excited to get this podcast going. It's definitely a growing brand, Full Count, just like we talked about last week. Just getting into a deep dive on baseball, more specific and stuff. And like you said, just here to have fun, just kind of like, locker room talk and, just kind of shoot the shit a little bit, just to make it more like just air free and fun.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a lot of fun here. So let's start. We'll both start with our picks for the NL West. I'll share the screen here. Let's see who's up first. All right, so this is my 2024 prediction for all of the NL West. Mm-hmm. So I think of course, everyone's picking the Dodgers. I'm right on that bandwagon. I don't see how there's any reason why they would lose the NL West, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think, it was like 2 years ago, we won 111 games. There's no way that's happening ever again, even though we have Ohtani and Freeman and Betts and Yamamoto and Glasnow, all these crazy additions. But baseball is so fucking hard that it's hard to beat people or win a division by 20 games. So I think the Dodgers are going to come down to earth. I have them at 103 and 59. I do have them with the best record in the league, just edging out the Braves a little bit. We'll get to that. But I have the D-backs coming back as the D-backs of last year, maybe even a little better. They're coming off the World Series. I don't think they're going to take a step back. They have a lot of young studs. What's his name? Corbin Carroll, Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. I'm predicting that he's going to have some MVP votes. He's going to really energize that fan base.
Yeah.
And then I kind of talked a lot of shit about the Padres a few episodes ago. And I said they were going to be basement dwellers for the foreseeable future.
Oh, geez.
That was really just a shot at Andrew and Chris. I didn't really mean that. So I feel like they'll be okay. They do have Manny Machado still. They do have Tatis. They have Musgrove. They have Xander Bogaerts. They're going to be a good squad, but they won't be able to keep up with the Diamondbacks nor the Dodgers.
No, I don't think so. It's like you said, it's almost like a clear shot for the Dodgers. But I did hear that their new pitcher, the guy from Japan, Yoshi, did not do so good in his spring training debut. It looked like he got hit around a little bit. So obviously, he's got a lot to prove. But what we've seen in the postseason the last few years, the Dodgers are great in the regular season, but then once the big lights turn on, they somehow, for some reason, can't put it together. Which is a shame because, they have all this talent and, the biggest budget in baseball for the most part, and they just fall short every year for some reason, except for that, championship in 2020, which was, in my opinion, like a Mickey Mouse, World Series because they didn't play a full season anyway. And I'm not trying to bash the Dodgers or anything. I'm just saying, like, for them to be this high caliber of a team, they need to win like 2-3 in a row, especially after signing Ohtani to like a 12-year deal.
Totally. It's crazy. What in the last 12 years made the playoffs and won it once? Like the stats just don't add up. It's very flukish. But you talked about Yamamoto coming out a little rough. You as a pitcher, how many starts do you take, or how many appearances does it usually take to get into your groove coming off the offseason?
Well, that's the beauty about spring training. You can kind of get out of those, funky, outings and stuff, and then just kind of work your way up. But in the regular season, usually starters aren't really expected to go no more than like 5 innings for the most part because they're still building up. But, he still has some time. Like he's definitely capable of, turning around and having a good solid start the next time around. But it's a lot of pressure, especially being in the Dodgers organization. That's like a high expectations. It's every year they're expected to win, and if you get signed by them, you're there to perform.
Yeah, for sure. Or you think, like, even as a pitcher, you come out there from the offseason, are you tinkering with pitchers and or tinkering with pitches and don't really care if you get smacked, or just to
no,
get
yeah,
the
no.
movement going?
I mean, yeah. Well, geez. I mean, every time I feel like I come up with a new pitch, I feel confident in it, and then I bring it into a game, and then someone just like absolutely just goes yah off it. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I need to work on that pitch a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's not fooling anybody. But yeah, everything is trial and error during spring training. It's, you're also facing the same guys pretty much every day. So like, they know you, that you know them. So it really, at the start of the season, it just becomes more like who prepared better.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That makes sense. So time will tell, huh?
Yeah.
Time will tell. So what else? I think the Giants and Rockies, they didn't really do much to improve, and they're going to slide back. I don't know how you slide back further when you're the Rockies, but I feel like that's going to happen.
I feel so sorry. I honestly do feel really sorry for the Rockies. It's just when you're like, I pitched in Colorado before, not in the big leagues, but like in Colorado Springs, and that's high altitude. Like the ball flies out of there, which doesn't look appealing for many pitchers or anybody in general. I mean, I honestly do hope they can turn around this season. Those are always that's a team that I always want to see them do well, especially like under the circumstances. They're kind of like the Oakland A's of the NL West. It's just it's what to be expected of them every year. But everybody wants them to do well, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a shame that stadium is beautiful. I go there for work every now and then. I'll make sure to catch a Rockies game when I'm visiting Denver. And what I do is I'll buy the cheapest seat. The last few times I went there was like $3, $4, and just went right down by the dugout. So I want them to be good, but at the same time, I want them to be bad, just so my checkbook doesn't feel a little lighter. But.
Yeah, I got you. I understand that part. But yeah, I mean, the top two are pretty much solid. I feel like LA and the Dodgers. LA and the D-backs. Hopefully it'll make it more interesting. I mean, this is a pretty solid, division, like, so it could be interesting.
Yeah, this will be the division to watch.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let me go to yours. I think I have to switch this here.
I pretty much just say Dodgers. That's it. Doesn't matter who's up next. Just says Dodgers.
Yeah, we can talk about the reasons why you picked them and what you like or don't like about
them. They just look great on paper. I mean, they have such a solid. They have Freddie Freeman. They got Mookie Betts. They got Clayton Kershaw coming back. They have Ohtani. Like, I mean, you're talking about like the big three right there. I mean, it's almost like it's almost looking like the 1990s, New York Yankees, where they had like, Jeter, Posada, and Pettit, and all those guys. I mean, so those are the kind of guys that you expect to like start a dynasty with.
Yeah.
But like I said, postseason's a different animal. I mean, anything can happen. That's the beauty about baseball.
Yeah, it should be fun. I don't think they're gonna have a monopoly in the World Series the next few years. I'm predicting 2 of the next 5.
Yeah.
If I can get 2, I'll be happy with that.
I mean, with Ohtani, recovering from pitching and stuff, but he's solely, focusing on hitting, he's going to do a lot more damage at the plate. I feel like he could probably hit, 40, 50 home runs probably for them and still be in an MVP, caliber, season.
Yeah. Plus it keeps his body fresh. If all you have to do is bat and you don't have to stand there in the outfield the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
let's
it
go.
For me. I mean, pretty solid right there.
All right. Good picks. So let me stop that one. I'll go to the next one. All right, I'll share that. All right, cool. So we'll get out of the NL West, go to the NL Central. So this one was pretty interesting. I thought it was the
Yeah,
biggest wild card of all the divisions in the league, and here's why. Like I was thinking last night, I was like, when was the last time in my memory that I could think of the Cardinals finishing in last place? Because I don't remember that ever
I
happening.
I I honestly, they're up there with like the New York Yankees. You never see them like at the bottom, like at anything.
Yeah.
And that's the team I played for. I mean, I never saw them finish that low. I mean, yeah, I've seen them finish maybe below like third, but like never like dead last ever. I mean, I think it's just because you have such a young group of players. Like a lot of debuts last year, for the most part, and I think like you're right. I think the Cardinals should have a bounce back year, especially after they just signed Sonny Gray and Lance Lynn. I mean, that's two solid pitchers right there that can help their rotation. And it's just a young team. They're young and hungry, I bet. So I haven't really been paying attention to them during spring training, but from what I saw though lately, Sonny Gray got hurt, and he's kind of like being carefully watched. So hopefully it's not too long, for his recovery. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that. I've always liked Sonny Gray. I like Lance
Yeah.
Lynn. He spent some time with us last year, so he grew on me a lot.
Yeah.
But when I looked that up, I was like, it had been maybe 20 years since the Cardinals finished in last place. And when I Google it, it said the last time the Cardinals finished in last place in their division was 1918. So 105 years.
Jeez,
so
like
I always say this, like,
World War I
Cardinals are a good team
territory.
to watch, but yeah, I would say they're historically the best ran sports franchise or in all of sports. They always contend. They always have those great players, those Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
They're like the model sports team, and that kind of proves it. If you go 105 years without going to last place, plus what is it, 11 World Series championships,
I mean, they're right behind the Yankees. Yeah, they're right behind the Yankees. I mean, in terms of being professional and have that like that top tier class and stuff. I mean, I like I said, I played for them. It was nothing but great people, great organization, just from top to bottom, front office. I mean, that's why they win. So, and they get good quality guys. I mean, I don't think they get big ego guys. I mean, you look at the guys they got Goldschmidt and they got Arenado and stuff. Those guys are always under the radar. They don't look for the, look at me. They just go out there and play. So, it's just just nice the way they handle themselves.
Yeah, I have to say the Cardinal way, right? Like
the Cardinal way.
Outshining anybody.
They give us a book on that.
Did they make you read it?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty long, but it was a good read.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, Cardinals. I root for them from afar. I try not to advertise it, but they're a cool team to always watch. Plus, that stadium's absolutely beautiful.
It is. Busch Stadium is great. It really is beautiful. I mean, I got to go there one time when I signed my contract, and I was just like, wow, I'm going to get to play here. I was like, nope, that didn't happen. But at least I got to walk in there.
Yeah. But what else I have? So I have the Pirates. So I'm taking the Pirates in 2024 as this is their stepping stone year. They're gonna finish second. They're gonna win 90 games. But I think they're going to look back at 2024 and be like, hey, this is when the window of our contention started for the foreseeable future. I like that team. I love Reynolds. What's his name? Cruz, that's on that team that they debuted last year.
O'Neill, I think.
O'Neill. Okay, is O'Neill Cruz? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that the young talent now that's coming in, like, you were just talking about Carroll and stuff from the D-backs, it's like he falls into that, Julio Rodriguez category. Like they all have that one like young stud that can like lead them to the promised land. And, I feel like, with the Pirates, their young pitching too is coming. Like I just saw Paul Skeens pitch. That guy looks like an absolute stud. I mean, he's going to make it to the big leagues probably this year at some point. Just very promising. I mean, the Pirates have always had good talent. They just never been able to string it together. But hopefully this year can be their year.
Yeah, I think they'll have a great year. I think I think Pittsburgh deserves it. Everyone forgets
Yeah.
about the Pirates. They have the Steelers. They have the Penguins.
Yeah.
So it's about time for them to get on the map, right, for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for sure.
What else? The Reds. I think the Reds are going to be so-so. Who do they have? I have something like Jonathan India, Ellie De La Cruz. He's another like exciting guy. I saw him debut last year against the Dodgers and just smacked us that first game. I remember thinking, I was like, who is this dude? This guy's going to be a superstar. And
but then he cooled off. He cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, he'll have a good sophomore season for sure. I mean, everybody says that there's sophomore slumps, but he looks like the type of guy that can hit 30 plus home runs, run, like total athleticism. We'll just, it's really exciting to see, what they're going to bring. I mean, and then you said you got the Brewers coming in fourth. That's yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I said. It's pretty a wild card. The Brewers lost a bunch of guys. They lost Craig Counsell. Yeah, Corbin Burnes was the Orioles.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough for the Brewers and the Cubs, and you'll see on another slide I think it's going to be tough for the city of Chicago this season. I have the White Sox last. I have the Cubs last.
Yeah,
but at least they have like the Bears and the Bulls, right? I'm just like they don't have much to root for in Chicago right now.
No, just I don't really have much. I mean, I have a couple people that play on the Cubs. I know Patrick Wisdom's on that team. I mean, he's a good solid player, but I mean, like I said, let's just see what happens. I mean, anything can happen in this crazy game. So, but like you said, the Cardinals and Pirates, that's definitely a good. Those are two solid teams to watch right there. So I definitely agree with your picks. I mean, I even said the Cardinals myself, and it's about time they have a good bounce back year for sure, especially after what they had to deal with last year. Especially they lost Adam Wainwright. No more Yadier Molina. No more. No more Pujols. I mean, that was a couple years ago, but they just don't have that. They just needed that leadership role. And they just signed Matt Carpenter too, so he's back. Yeah. So
that was a weird signing. Just a fan favorite. Hey, come out there and get some fans in the seats or whatever. But I was like, they don't need to spend money on Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, I know. They just wanted to get a familiar face back in the lineup so they can probably sell tickets.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the NL East. Let's see here. So, did you pick the Braves as well?
I did. I did pick the Braves. So we're 3 for 3 right now. I mean, not much to say here. Braves are a solid team, just like the Dodgers. I mean, they have great pitching, great hitting. I mean, they were even good even after Freddie Freeman left. So the fact that they're still able to stick to their stride right now with 101 wins, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's hard to see them slowing down in any way. Yeah. Well, if injuries pop up, but I'm really anticipating that NLCS clash that everybody wanted to see last year's Dodgers Braves. Hopefully that goes 7, because that's where the World Series is going to be won in the NLCS. Mm-hmm. Well, from our predictions, maybe.
Yeah.
But then besides that, Mets. I got the Mets with the wild card, Phillies with the wild card. That's going to be a really tightly contested division. I think you even threw some votes in there for Alonso for the MVP.
Yep.
I'm kind of right there with you. I don't think he'll get it, but this is his contract year, and he's going to go ape shit, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When did I think Aaron Judge won the MVP, and then that's when he got his big deal. He won the MVP, so then he got rewarded for it. So hopefully Alfonso can do the same thing here. I mean, definitely has the power to do it. I mean, I feel like he always hits home runs and RBIs. It's just that average just somehow just kind of dips. Yeah. But, if he can help his team get to a wild card or even further, then that definitely gets some votes right there for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun division. And I think even with the Phillies, I love Bryce Harper. I think a lot of people, you either love Harper or you hate him. I think he's fun to watch. I love those asshole players that are cocky, but they can back it up with their play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he can definitely do it. Yeah. No, he's definitely, especially, recent years, he's definitely come back. Like, he's definitely rebounded for sure. I mean, he's got 2 MVPs. I mean, he just needs to get a ring now. Like, it's like him and Trout were always like in the same, category. And then finally, Bryce Harper's like, all right, I'm going to go to a better team. But then the Nationals win the championship. I thought that was funny. That's
that,
like
that had to hurt. He said he doesn't think about it, but I'm sure if I was him, I'd be thinking about that every single day.
That's like Mike Trout. That's like Mike Trout going to like the New York Yankees, and then the Angels win it the next year. You're like, wow, that did not see that coming.
No, nobody did.
No, but no, this will be definitely a really solid matchup for sure. I mean, A's, Mets, Phillies, Marlins, and Nationals. I mean, I'm surprised you actually have them winning over 70 games, but.
Yeah, I think they got to get a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Marlins are picking up like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Agents, Tim Anderson. Maybe that'll help them out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. But Braves all the way. I mean, I like that team. It's a good team. Like, just good pitching. I mean, I'm actually like a big fan of Strider just because of the way he pitches. Like, I just love the way he uses his fastball. He's not afraid to use it. He just goes after guys. The guy throws 100, but still never shies away from it. He just wants to attack guys. And, I can appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. Are you one of the TBS kids that grew up watching like the Braves and the Cubs on WGN just because it was on?
No, actually, the funny thing is I was a big Yankee fan growing up because my parents are from New York, and I always I always got Yankee stuff growing up. And, I was always a big, I like Derek Jeter. And then, I actually did like watching Roy Halladay pitch when I was growing up. I liked watching, Jake Peavy, another guy that people pretty much feel like they've forgotten. But, those are just two guys that I absolutely just loved watching. Two different styles of pitching. One's finesse, and the other one's like just full on bulldog, like go after the guy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, those are the guys I kind of emulated as I was growing up for sure, just because I wanted to pitch like them. Yeah, I mean, Braves, I kind of wish I did play for them a little bit just because they look like they developed their pitching pretty well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They're a fun team to root for.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're a Phillies or a Mets fan. But
yeah. True.
All right. So this is where I think it gets interesting. Who did you have for?
I had the Astros, unfortunately. Don't. I mean,
hey, we're unbiased here. We're just like, hey, if we're betting, this is what we'd put. If money,
true, I really do want the Mariners. I really do want the Mariners to win, but the Astros got more firepower. I mean, they solidified their bullpen a little bit more with Hader, and then Verlander, they're almost like still like a young team in a sense. Like, they don't have like really many old guys. Like Verlander's probably their oldest guy they have. And, they still have guys that are like in their early 30s. So, still, being able to play decent ball. But I do like your pick, the Mariners. I actually wish I changed my pick because I'm not an Astros fan one bit. I mean,
yeah,
I don't like cheaters. So, poor Angels. Oh my God, they're like
they don't stand a chance, not for a while.
No, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of like the NL West, where like it's two obvious teams, and then the rest are just kind of falling flat a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with the NL Central. I mean, Pirates and Cardinals, like two other teams. It's always, I feel like it's just two teams just battling it out, and then the rest are kind of just like, all right, well, hopefully we can squeak a couple wins out of these two teams. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the weaker like win totals I've seen so far. Like, 55, 68, 85. I mean, you really have the Rangers finishing third. I'm actually surprised with this one because you know,
Yeah. So
because they
I
got
have them with the World Series hangover. I don't
okay.
think they're going to live up to those expectations.
Mhm.
I think Seager's still going to be Seager. Simeon's going to be Simeon. Maybe DeGrom never really comes back like he did, and that's a
I
really
hope he
bad
does. I hope he
pickup.
does. I mean, he was the best pitcher
Yeah.
in baseball at one point.
He's lights out. Love watching him, but I don't know, man. After all those injuries and you get older, what is he? Probably like 32, 33 by now.
I think he's 34, 35 now.
Oh shit! Yeah, so you don't bounce back from those historically, and
Yeah.
that's kind of why I had the Rangers falling off. And then John Gray, I feel like he's always hurt. He's hurt on the Rockies.
Sorry, that's my loving dog right there.
It's all good.
She's
So
super.
that was a tough one for me because I was thinking like the Mariners, they haven't won the division since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I have them as the Cinderella team this year, and we'll get into that in the next few
Okay.
slides. But I was like, it's the Mariners' turn. The Rangers had their time in the spotlight. What else does Bruce Bochy need to do?
No, nothing.
Yeah, he's checked off every box. He could walk into the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a changing of the guard, and the Mariners are going to take that from the Astros, and it'll just be a cool story because in the last 5 or 6 years, it seems like crazy streaks broken. Like the Rangers won their first World Series, the Nats won their first World Series.
Yep.
The Astros did with an asterisk, but then they won it again in 2022. So a lot of streaks have been broken. I think the Mariners are going to not win it all, but come damn close.
Yeah, I they're definitely due. I mean, it's now the real question is like, are the Angels going to make the postseason with? I mean, they had the best player in baseball. I mean, they had the two best players in baseball. Because when you had Ohtani kind of pick up the slack when Mike Trout wasn't doing all that great. I mean, now everything is pretty much riding on Mike Trout to perform yet again. And, God, I hope Blake Snell goes to the Angels because I don't even know where that guy's signing. Because they need help. They need help. Like, I mean, you can't have the best player in baseball and not make the postseason. I mean, I really hope they make it farther this year than last year. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Mike Trout's losing time right now unless he, goes somewhere else.
I think they just got to blow it up. You got to trade Trout. You got to trade Rendon, which he got injured. What was it yesterday?
I'm honestly not a big fan of Rendon. Right? I'm not a big fan of Rendon. That guy. I mean, I don't know. You've probably seen the stuff he's been saying. Like,
oh yeah,
I got to get my priorities straight. I'm like, dude, you get paid millions and millions of dollars.
We talked about this last episode. I was like, you could say stuff like that if you work like a regular person's job. If you're like in construction or you work at Wells Fargo, not when you're making $30-40 million a year. Like, shut up and play ball. Everybody.
He's not even playing. He's probably played a total of like maybe 60 games in the last like 2 years.
Or just shut your mouth, collect that check.
Yeah.
And stay away from the press.
Your family will thank you later.
Yeah.
Even I'd be like, if I'm his wife, I'd be like, dude, suck it up and get out there and play. Like, I don't care. I don't like, you're making millions of dollars. We'll be okay.
I think of stuff like that. Like, he probably has kids in school. Kids are pretty cruel. Like, oh, your dad's Anthony Rendon. All he does is just like put his foot in his mouth, talk shit, and doesn't play. Like, I think of stuff like that.
Nope.
The A's are going to A's for the foreseeable future here.
Yep.
Let's go to what's our next one? The AL Central. Who'd you have for the AL Central?
I think I had the White Sox. Oh no! Wait. I think I had the White Sox. Yeah, because they had really young pitching. They had solid pitch. It was that or the Tigers. I was kind of tossing between those two. I mean, but
you have the White Sox.
You have the White Sox dead last, which is funny. This is like the second pick that we haven't lined up with, but yeah, that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. But Kansas City, I mean, yeah, I could see that. I could see why. Because they got Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, that's another young, organization guy that is making waves. Just yeah, I mean, I actually do agree with all these picks from top to bottom. I should have done more research.
Now, these are just like from the heart. I feel like the White Sox are going nowhere fast, and that's what I was saying. Like I think the city of Chicago, is in for a bad season all around. But it doesn't take much to be good in this division.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of like the Royals of 2014 and 2015. They didn't blow anyone out of the water.
Yeah,
they just won the division. I don't remember if they won the division or won the wild card, but then they just got hot at the right time. I think this is one of those scenarios. Just get in and then see what you can do. And I think the Royals.
You just have to honestly, you have to just get in. It's like college baseball. If you're in the field of 64, it's anybody's game. Like anybody's game. Like look at Coastal Carolina. 6-7 years ago, they won the whole thing, and history was made. So you don't have to be, you just have to hit the right time. Like that's it. And then guys pitching, defense hitting, it's all, just get in, like you said, and then stuff will happen.
Yeah. So I'm very bullish on the Royals. They're going to be a lot of fun. I have them going to the ALDS. I think they're going to win their wild card matchup, whoever they play. And then they'll finally hit that wall in the ALDS, whoever they play. Yeah. But it'll be a fun run for Kansas City. That's another team whose team gets overshadowed because they're the Chiefs in Kansas City. Like no one's talking about the Royals. Everything's been about Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. So let's give them some love. But the rest are just kind of wishy-washy. I like the Tigers, but I don't think anyone else really stands out.
No.
Yeah, it's a boring division.
I'm actually surprised the Twins weren't up more because they're always a kind of like a dark horse team too, where like if things lined up, if people stay healthy, everything can go up and be pretty promising. But yeah, Cleveland and then White Sox, the team I picked. That ain't looking too hot, but.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the most boring division besides the Royals. Like there's not much going on here. Like it's kind of like, if you're fans of these teams, then go root for your teams. But like, if you like the Royals, then go get them. Like, I mean, I think the Royals will do pretty well then, just like you said.
Yeah. We shall see. Yeah, but yeah, boring teams. I wouldn't mind seeing some of these stadiums, but
I definitely want to see all these stadiums before like I die for sure. Like I've not been to the Padres Stadium yet. Like which I kick myself for every day. And I haven't been to the Coliseum. I haven't been to the San Francisco Giants one either. So definitely need to start planning some road trips, especially when my kid gets older.
Oh, for sure. Are you from here in SoCal?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Who else? We have the AL East. I think this is going to be an absolute dogfight. So I think the Royals are so much fun with all these new guys that they have.
Yep.
They're going to hold steady, and they're going to hold off the Yankees. Well, I'm thinking for the next
this team is coming out of nowhere. Like if you look at this team like 3 years ago, I would have been like, whatever. But now, like, I think it was all after Adley Rutschman got there because he was able to handle the pitching staff. He kind of got the confidence back a little bit. I mean, he's kind of like a Buster Posey. So like you get a good catcher behind the plate and build up the confidence of these guys, they're going to be doing good. And I think him and Corbin Burns are going to be a pretty good battery. So that should be fun to watch. I mean, Yankees, near and dear to my heart. I mean, the Yankees, honestly, on paper too, should be just as good. I mean, they just signed Juan Soto. They got Judge. They got Stanton. I mean, if he stays healthy, that's another guy that can hit 30-plus home runs for you. I mean, you got the reigning Cy Young winner Garrett Cole. I mean, what's not to like about them? They could easily be first place as well, but injuries are always the thing that pops up with that team.
I always feel like the Yankees always find a way to shoot themselves in the foot every year, dude. And I think it's all around Booney. I don't think he's the right manager.
It's like the Dodgers.
Exactly. They're regular season Dodgers. We all got our heart broken eventually, but they just do it sooner than we do.
Well, I mean, I think it's just when the expectations are so high, you're expected to win like every year, because even a regular fan can look at a piece of paper and like, like they should win, but like it's just some people just can't handle New York. That's why Joey Gallo didn't last very long there. He just couldn't handle like the spotlight over there.
And a lot of players say that, like they say they hate playing in New York because you can't live a normal life. You're just getting hounded.
Well, it's weird. Like if you look at like a lot of players always say, "Oh, I want to be a Yankee. Like I want to wear the pinstripes." They get there and then they're like, they almost kind of like regret it. It's like, oh crap, I didn't think it was going to be like this. So, I mean, I'm actually surprised. Like I was always thinking like Scherzer or Verlander would go to the Yankees but it's like, no, I can't do it. They don't want to pull the trigger.
You know who I really like that's a Yankee now is Alex Verdugo. I loved him when he was on the Dodgers. I was hoping he did better on the Red Sox. He kind of burned that bridge, but hopefully he's getting a new start. I think he's a lot of fun to watch.
That's going to be an interesting matchup when they play. But Blue Jays, I mean, I don't know if you saw, they just signed Joey Votto
to a minors deal. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be up there. It's just I don't know what he's gonna do for him, but I feel like the Rays could surprise some people. I mean, they're always a team that kind of like don't like. It's not like an easy, like when you play a series again, it's not an easy like victory against them. They can scratch some wins. I mean, a few years ago they were pretty damn good.
And that's the hardest part about this one. I was thinking about that because everyone always predicts that Rays are going to fall off, and they always prove everyone wrong. They win the division or win the wild card. So I was like, I don't know. Should I err on that side, or should I put him like at fourth? That one was the hardest pick for me.
I was going to say, did you want to put them in third, but the Blue Jays have such a young, promising team. You're like, you might as well.
That's exactly why, because they have Guerrero, they have Bichette, they have some pitching.
Yep.
And I can only name maybe 2 or 3 people on the Rays besides
Rosarina.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah, and nobody pays attention to them because they're all the way in Tampa Bay. That stadium is garbage. There's always ways to like not.
Nobody loves Florida. Nobody likes Florida, really.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that one was tough, but I knew for sure I was going to pick the Red Sox last because everything they have going on.
All right, but Orioles and Yankees, Blue Jays can, do something. But I am excited. Actually, I never thought I would say this. I actually am excited to see what Baltimore can do, because that's another team that deserves a championship. They need. I mean, that city definitely needs it.
Dude, and I would say their most popular player hasn't even made their debut yet. I think everyone's just waiting for Jackson Holliday to make his debut. He has more attention, like from SportsCenter, from ESPN, from Instagram on him than the active players. So I think that's another one of those like, hey, let's get more butts in the seats. Let's get more eyes on the Orioles because of Jackson Holliday.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's going to be exciting. I mean, that's just another Holliday, in the big leagues. And then I think his younger brother is going to be, top prospect too. Is there like another Holliday son out there?
So those genetics, man.
I don't know what the hell they're eating, but get me on that.
Really.
Yeah, but Orioles. I think we both agreed on that too. So far, pretty spot on.
All right, let's see what's the next one. I think it's like our award picks.
Yeah.
So this is what I have for MVPs. I'll go to yours here.
Okay, we're way off, but I can see. No, I could see.
Juan Soto. One, because he's a left-handed hitter. He's in New York. He's going to be hitting that short porch all day long. He's going to launch 55 home runs. Like, it's going to be the craziest, most fun year to be a Juan Soto fan. That's why I have MVP. It's his contract year. He's going to get a $700 million deal.
You think he's going to get that?
Well, what did he turn down? Like $500 million from the Nats or
something like that? But
several years ago.
We're getting into unicorn Ohtani land right now, and I always thought like, okay, well, you're getting a Garrett Cole caliber pitcher, and also an Aaron Judge or Mike Trout caliber hitter. So usually it's like, okay, the logical thing is he's worth half that, right? Because he's also young as shit. I mean, which goes really well for him. I mean, he's only like 24 or something like that. Like
something crazy. Yeah.
I mean, Mookie Betts, I mean, I could see that too. I mean, I picked Nolan Arenado because I feel like that guy has been so underrated and unappreciated. That guy needs an MVP award.
Like, he doesn't have an MVP award, huh?
He doesn't have any, which is crazy. He's hit 40 plus home runs during a 3 stretch period. He had he literally has hit over 100 RBIs, and like he never, but everybody's like, oh, it's because he's played for the Rockies. So like it's got that big asterisk right next to his name. Like, oh, he can't, it's because he plays in a high altitude stadium. I'm like, dude, doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, he was smacked and had gold gloves no matter where he went.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I feel like they just give him a gold glove just to keep him happy. Because like, I'd rather have an MVP than a gold glove. I mean, because I played against him in high school. I mean, the guy hit tanks back then too. So
I was just about to ask that because he went to El Toro.
Yeah.
And you guys are probably like around the same age. So. He did?
Yeah. No, he's a hell of a player. I mean, that's like he fits perfectly with the Cardinals organization. Like, he's just clean cut, just does his job, doesn't complain, doesn't do anything like that. I mean, I have only the utmost respect for him and stuff. I mean, I really hope that before his career's over, he needs an MVP under his belt. I mean, he's on his way to be like possibly the top third baseman of all time. I mean, you look at his numbers, he's almost got 400 home runs, he's got another 5 to 7 more good years to go, hopefully, where he can possibly get 20 plus home runs again. He'll end up with like 500 home runs, I bet.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So as a player, would you rather have an MVP or World Series?
World Series.
Okay.
World Series. Like, I had a teammate one time ask me, like, would you rather be the first overall pick or would you rather win the College World Series? And I'm like, dude, that's such a messed up question.
Yeah, first overall pick.
I told him, like, well, if I'm the first overall pick, we're going to win the championship. And then he's like, haha, funny. And then, like, we ended up winning it in 2012. And I I don't think anybody would ever ask somebody that question, but it is what it is.
All right. Where'd you play college ball?
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Not. I went to the Wildcats. I didn't go to ASU. I didn't go to that place.
Yeah. Well, let's see what we have. What's the next one? So these are your Cy Young picks.
Yes.
So Zach Wheeler is interesting. That's a really good one.
I was gonna pick Aaron Nola, but I for some reason I feel like Zach Wheeler is just another guy that like he can be a Sandy Alcantara, like come out of nowhere. He can give you 200 plus innings. He can give like he's been pretty solid the last couple of years as well. I mean, and I say Castillo is like, if you look at his numbers over the last like 3 or 4 years, he's been up there with pretty much everybody else. Like he's got strikeouts. He's rarely been hurt. I mean, that guy's been pretty like a solid starter for them too. So, I mean, yeah, those are mine. I mean, if you would have asked me last year, like who deserves a Cy Young, I would have said Strider or like Oh my God. Or Zach Gallen.
Yeah.
But Strider can win one if he's just more consistent. He's got the strikeouts in the innings and stuff, but it's just his ERA just needs to go down a tick a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Plus, he plays for the Braves, so he can always get backed up with wins.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like wins don't really matter anymore, though, huh? It's all about WHIP. It's all about ERA.
It's all about the other miscellaneous stats. It's like, oh, this guy's whiff rate is at 38% or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. Guy
We're getting too much into that kind of stuff. I like the old school stuff.
It used to be just ERA, strikeouts, and like wins, and then that's it. Now it's like, all right, well, if you look at his FIP, and it's really actually not that great, and I'm like, dude, look where he's playing. Like, the guy lives in a freaking bandbox. Of course, he's going to have like these stats. But I do think I honestly feel pretty confident in these two picks. If one of them wins one this year, I'll be pretty happy.
I think those are strong picks. What I had Zach Gallen. You just mentioned him for the NL, and then Corbin Burns from the Orioles. So
I was honestly gonna pick Corbin Burns, but I was like, didn't Corbin Burns already win one?
Yeah, he did in 2022, right?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, he already got one. Someone else needs to get one now. I mean, the fact that I'm actually we'll go back to this in a second, but I'm actually still surprised that Blake Snell has not been signed yet, even though the guy's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. The guy has not. He's holding off for that $500 million, deal or something. But someone better like sign this guy quick, because I bet a team's going to need him.
We'd love to have him. And I think he's a victim of two things. So the last episode, we were talking about the Boris effect, and now how like he doesn't have that magic touch anymore, and people are shying away from him, not giving into his demands.
Yeah.
And just kind of telling Boris to fuck off. I think it's that. And he's also a victim of all these crazy new stats. Like you said, like the FIP and everything else. He walks a lot of people. He gets a lot of people on base, but he always finds a way to get out of trouble.
Dude, he can walk the bases loaded and then strike out the side, and that's fine. So, like, but that's the thing, though. I don't know how many innings he threw last year, but that's what kills him, is that I don't think people can take a chance on him because he doesn't go deep into games. He only goes like 5 innings, like, for the most part. People want the ace that goes 6, 7, 8 innings, which nobody really does that anymore.
Yeah.
The last time I feel like Alcantara was like the last guy to actually like throw like a lot of innings, like in terms of 8, 9 innings. But yeah,
you look like 20 years ago, complete games were a common thing for people. Like pitchers had like 7, 8, 9 complete games a year. Now you'll see like with maybe 1 or 2 complete games.
I know, and guys were still having 10+ careers. Nobody was getting hurt really for the most part. But you have all these resources and stuff at your disposal, and yet guys are still getting hurt, and you're only throwing 150 innings. I threw 150 innings my junior in college. That's like that. Like, that's ridiculous. Nobody does that anymore. It's like, I think guys go like 70 innings, 80 innings now in college, and then they're like, all right, I'm done. Like, sign me.
Yep. Not trying to take chances. Keep that arm.
Nope. It's
nice.
It's all about staying healthy and making that paycheck.
Let's see. I think this last one's a World Series. Let's take a look. All right. So you have the Yankees and the Braves.
Yeah.
Talk to us about these two picks. Who's going to win? How many games? And who's the MVP? I'm going to say I feel like it's time the Yankees kind of get back into the dynasty again, like get that, because it's been since 2009 that they won one. Braves, the one thing that the Braves have over the Yankees in this regard is that they were there recently, so they know what it's like to play at that level. A lot of guys haven't even played postseason for that many years. Like, Judge definitely can lead the way, but
I think Garrett Cole wants to get a ring. I mean, he, wants some, I think, did he win the World Series with the Astros when he was there?
No, they lost in 7 to the Braves.
Oh, right. Okay. So, I mean, I think it's just a good matchup because, like, you look at these lineups alone, there's probably like 12 like all-stars on both teams.
Oh, sure.
Like if you micro analyze everything, like, you got Judge, you got Soto, you got Garrett Cole, you got, Verdugo, and then Braves, you got, Acuna, Strider, Riley, you got Olsen. I mean, geez, the list kind of goes on at that point. And then, I just like the matchup. Honestly, I think it'll go 7 games.
7 games?
Yeah.
Yankees?
Yeah.
All right. Who's your MVP?
I'm gonna say I'll go with Soto. I'll go Soto on this one because, like you said, the short porch, those games that are going to be at Yankee Stadium, he'll somehow put some Soto magic on there, and I got him winning it.
All right, so maybe an MVP award and World Series MVP.
Yes,
and then getting that $700 million contract.
Then we can talk logistics with all that stuff. Then we can do that.
All right, I like it. So I'll share mine. Let's see.
I think you had Dodgers and
I had a Cinderella pick. Mine was out there, but I think it's feasible. So I had Dodgers and Mariners. So I think the Mariners are going to squeak by. They're going to win the division for the first time in 23 years, and then they're going to get hot at the right time. They're just going to bowl through that. They might get that first round bye. I don't remember what the record is predicted, but they'll blow by the ALDS. They'll blow through the ALCS. They'll give the Dodgers a run for their money, but ultimately come up just short.
I think I like this because you're going with experience versus, a team with a chip on their shoulder, something to prove.
Yep.
The Dodgers know what they're doing. They've been in these situations before. So it's like, this is like a David versus Goliath kind of situation right now. So I actually do like this. This is actually the kind of matchup people would like to see. And I like the World Series MVP for sure. I like Freddie Freeman. He's another guy that I respect a lot. I mean, he's right up there, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like that guy is almost like the Mike Trout of like Los Angeles. Like you can't find anything wrong with him. Kind of like it's like he's perfect. He does like everything the right way, and just he's a good all around ball player.
Yeah, he's squeaky clean. Everybody loves him. Everyone has good things to say about him. They steal all his dances and stuff, and
yeah,
I'm sure he's a blast to play with. But I think this is gonna be a fun matchup if it does happen, because it's gonna be like the whole country is gonna root against the Dodgers except for this one little patch of Southern California.
I know,
but we'll see. It's time. Like we go to the playoffs so many times. If you roll the dice, you don't go 1 for 12. Generally, like we'd have to go for like 2 for 13 here.
Yeah, I mean, especially when like you have all the older guys kind of being done, like Clayton Kershaw. I mean, he needs to get at least one more ring. I feel like he also feels like he has something else to prove in the World Series. I mean, because that whole bang bang trash can thing, like against the Astros, that kind of still sits with him. Probably, I'd want to go back and show like people like, hey, like listen, I'm a good postseason pitcher. Like I can pitch well in tough situations. I'm not just a regular season, stud. Like I can pitch, when the chips are down and stuff. So, that's another player I love watching is Kershaw. I mean, he's just another bulldog. He's like one of the last bulldogs out there right now.
Yeah. So this is my dream scenario for this World Series. Is like one of the first few episodes I did was I was saying that Kershaw should have no business being a starting pitcher in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Have him come out of the pen.
Oh, you want a Madison Bumgarner? You want a Madison Bumgarner?
Like how he did against the Royals and finish that out. But imagine Kershaw getting the last 3 outs to close out the World Series.
Yeah.
That picture will be cemented. Everything that'll be a statue that'll be in front of Dodger Stadium.
He's the whole
he's hardest working. People love him. I feel like he gets a shitty end of the stick. He has postseason bad luck. The 2017 World Series, they should have had that. But that tarnished his legacy. Like he should have had that ring in 2017. Shouldn't have to settle for 2020 Mickey Mouse World Series, like you said. Like, hey, that was World Series is cool. But it wasn't like what you expected.
No, well, you also have to remember in 2020, a lot of guys were like opting out of not playing. So it's like, all right, sure. Well, I mean, now it's like, all right, we have the tools we need. We have Ohtani. We have all these young starters coming to, like a lot of guys that are coming. We have Yoshi. I mean, you guys got the pieces now. Do with what you will with them. I mean, it's. You guys are getting the keys to the kingdom. So you guys should be leading the charge for the next like 5-6 years with these guys. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's the Dodgers to lose.
Yeah, for sure. I just need one World Series parade that I could take my kids to. I just need one in my life to be complete. But yeah, that's those are our picks. You got anything else you want to add to this episode? I feel like this episode went pretty smooth and pretty fun.
No, it was definitely fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked honestly going deep dive into all these teams and stuff. I mean, we covered a lot. I mean, I love this game. I love the fact that, we can talk about this. I mean, not many people do. I don't think people really understand baseball because a lot of people think like, oh, it's just slow, boring guys running around bases and throwing the ball around. I mean, if you truly respect it, you will understand and get why we pick these certain guys, these certain teams and stuff. And I mean it's probably the best game out there in my opinion. So not just because I play it, but it's definitely like I said, America's pastime.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like, but the thing is, with baseball, there's no new fans. You have to either be brought up with baseball or you never get into it. Well, so I'm hoping my kids love baseball. I'm sure you're going to feel the same way with your boy.
Yep, that's why I have to start a new trend. Like when my son has kids, I'm going to be the grandpa that takes them to baseball games. So it's I got to start that whole that charge again, where like the grandparents take the kids to the ball games and like, look at that, that's so and so. I used to play against that guy when he was my age or whatever. So like, I mean, I don't know, like just stuff like that. I mean, we're definitely me and my wife and son, we're definitely going to be hitting up Angel Stadium in the future. I mean, just because it's convenient, it's you get to enjoy. It's like a very good family friendly environment. So just I love it.
Angel Stadium's cool. We took our kids to their first baseball games last year. One Dodgers game, one Angels game. It cost like $300 to go to a Dodgers game, and then I think it was like $20 to take the whole family to an Angels game. So,
oh my god, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's like $300 for tickets, and then $50 for 2 beers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, hey, I think that's what we got here, but we might have to wait like another week and a half, 2 weeks. I'll be in spring training next week.
Gotcha.
To catch a few games, but maybe I'll like snap some pictures, do some videos, throw it on here. But
definitely. Definitely. Let me know how that goes, because like I said, I've only been part of spring training like in Florida and stuff. I never got to really go and see like the Arizona side of things. So, I mean, let me know how that goes. That sounds like a blast. I mean, like take some pictures. Let me know if you see like any, guys that stick out to you, and, we could talk about those guys for sure. But yeah, thank you for having me on this podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping on, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. We'll do it again soon.
Cool. All right, everybody. Stay tuned to the next episode. I can't talk today. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll try to make it entertaining like this one was, but appreciate you all turning in. Yeah, help us out. Hit that like button, subscribe, spread the word. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.